So as you can see on the operating table today, I've got a RISC PC. So I've pulled this one out of storage because in the last video we were having a look at this, which is the RISC PC 486 card, which I actually recapped, and I didn't know if it worked before I started to mess with it, but yeah, I thought, well, let's see if it works basically. So yeah, on the table is a RISC PC. I picked this up recently in quite a good bundle of Acorn stuff. There was a BBC Master, an Acorn A3000, a 5000, but you can probably see it's one of those just over in the corner over there, and this RISC PC and various other manuals and software and things of that nature. So yeah, I tested this RISC PC out. It does actually work, and then I thought, well, I'll go the next step and strip it down and just see, you know, what needed to be done. Obviously the battery needed fixing and that kind of thing. So we're here, and got all the bits ready to just stick it back together. So I thought I'd do a bit of an impromptu video. Yeah, just talking on the headset whilst I build this thing up and just see how it goes really. So yeah, so if we just get the muffin board out from just under the table, you can see that it's all been cleaned. I've taken the battery off. Looks really quite nice around the battery area. There's been no damage to the board. It's all cleaned up quite nicely, and yeah, it's in good working order. Now this battery kit, this isn't the one I'm going to go with full time. But yeah, I realised when I was doing it actually that the spacing of the legs on the holder there, so obviously too small to fit just there. So these are good for the other machines, the 4000, 5000 and all of those. But for this one that's no good, so I just need to get a standard battery holder and do something with that. But just for, you know, getting the machine working again, I've just basically connected one of these up, and yeah, we'll go with that for now. So yeah, the only other interesting part to note on this one is that yeah, the mouse and keyboard connector on this RISC PC, which was released in 1994, actually still has the quadrature mouse, which is the 9-pin mini DIN connector that Acorn have used for all of the Acorn Archimedes machines up to this date. But actually has a PS2 keyboard connector. The year after, when they made the A7000, that came out in 1995, I actually had a PS2 connector for the keyboard and mouse, so we're halfway there. But with this machine, it was you know, they were starting to take on the you know, the standards of IDE, PS2, that kind of thing. You know, that obviously the PCs were starting to introduce at the time. So I'll just pop this in. So it's quite a nice machine to work on. Motherboard just pushes in, and then it's got some plastic tangs that just grip the keyboard. One of the tangs is actually just broken just there, but that was broken before I started. Oh, it's quite tight. There we go. It's clipped into place. So I'm not sure where that's going to go yet, because we're going to have the power supply just down here. So I think that's probably just going to have to just hang around at the side. So we'll work that out in a bit. So for the power supply, that's this quite big chunky module just there. So I've taken this apart, I've given it a good clean. I've replaced the fan. That's got a Gallid Silent 8 fan just in there. There we go, that's the box. So it's got one of those in. So for the 5000 and this one, that's a really good fan to use. The connector in here is just a 2-pin connector, whereas that's a 3-pin fan. So it's got the third wire for speed control for a PC. But in here you can just move the connector just slightly, so the third yellow wire isn't connected. So you just got power. So the fan does actually run at full speed, which I think is about 1600 RPM, but it's really quiet. So yeah, excellent replacement for the original fan. Just to show you what the original fan looked like, that's there. So yeah, it's a perfectly good working fan. It's a bit noisy, but they all were on back in the day. It's quite dirty, obviously. You could take that off and put some grease in. You know, it would be fine for probably many years to come. But I don't know. It's just you know, because I sell these items on eBay, I like to go the full works and you know, just put some new hardware in there. So that's going in the bin. Right, so the board is just held down by one screw, which goes just down here. And then the power supply just holds the board in just at the back on the back plate, just there. And the power supply goes in with just one screw just in the front, just down here. That's good. Then the power connector that comes through the front of the case, it's got this long extending arm that clips onto the power connector just on the power supply there. So these do snap. Obviously, the plastic gets brittle over time, and you know, you can fix it. But this one's actually quite good. So yeah, you just place that just through the machine there. There we go. Okay, so we just have to connect up a few power points. So that's the main connector for the board. So that can only go in one way because of the way they've shaped all of the tubes and connectors. Okay. Then we've got the front lights and the speaker. So they just sort of nestle down between the back plate connector and the fan. Not the best place to put them, but you know, yeah. Right, so we've got wireless connectors for the hard drives, and then we've got the floppy power connector there. So they will be on the second slice. Okay, for the IDE, we've got a two-way IDE, so that connects into the board, goes into the hard drive, and then that will fold back up and come around and go into the second slice for the CD-ROM. So using the short wireless connector, plug it into the hard drive connector. Okay, that's good. Right, so yeah, this is the only problem where we're actually going to put this. Yeah, it's not easy. I might have to just zip tie it to the second slice just for the moment. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So taking on the standards of the PC again, we come to the memory. So we've got the memory module. I think this one, I think it's EDO. That was standard of the PC back in the time when this was made. So yeah, fairly easy to pick up. I like the memory for the you know, the 4000s and you know, those kind of machines. Quite difficult to find. So this one just goes into the memory connector just there. Just push it down, and there's two little clips on the side that just hold it in place. I've got to misplace the memory for the VRAM. So, oh, it's just over there. Okay, so this is the VRAM module. So yeah, again, this is now separate on this machine, whereas before it just used the same memory. So you don't have to put one of these in. I think there is a small amount of memory on the board, but this is an improvement. I think it's a 1 meg, 1 meg 10. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, we'd have to turn it on to find out. But this one just goes into this slot just here. There we go. And then, yeah, the processor. So there's two processor slots on this machine. Obviously, the first one will be for the strong arm in this case, which is the Acorn CPU. And then we've got the 486 PC card, which will go into the second slot. So in the instructions for the 486 card, they did say sometimes the Acorn CPU may be installed in the second slot nearest to the back of the machine, but they recommended moving it to the front. For, I think they said for airflow, but I'm not 100% sure. So that's where they were going to go. Going to go Acorn and then PC on that one. So for this machine, we've got a strong arm 200 MHz CPU. It's come out of this box. It's the Acorn Art10, matching serial number. Fast machine, not compatible with all of the software that was made. So some of the more interesting games like Zarch and stuff, I think probably have an issue running on this. But there's a few bits of software that can try and get around it, but it's not 100% successful. But, this is the first time that I've actually used a strong arm CPU, so yeah, I'm just starting to learn all of the sort of intricacies of that. So to install that, it just pushes into the slot. There we go. And then we've got the 486 card, which is the one that I recapped the other day. Now, I thought at the time, when I tried in this test machine, it wouldn't boot. And I left it, and I came back to the day after, took it out, put it back in again, and the machine started booting. So I don't think there's actually a problem with this card in particular. I think I maybe just not pushed it all the way in or something. But yeah, it appears to be at least allowing the machine to boot, although I'm still trying to track down the software for it. So that'll be yeah, coming a bit later. But again, that just pushes into the second CPU slot. Okay. And then it's on to installing the second slice. So this machine was quite unique at the time. It was designed in a slice. This is your first slice, that's got your board on, your power supply. And then you can put the next slice on, which is just here. Okay. So this slice usually has a CD-ROM and floppy drive in it. It's got a door that opens, and a spring, which the spring is actually missing. So yeah, what it should do is when you open it, it should then come back up again. So yeah, it's not quite right, but it's a real weakness, this part is. And if we look at the other slides, so this is another slice from a second machine I've got, which actually isn't working. The battery damage is quite extensive, but you can see just down here, so where you've got the arm that moves, should be a spring on it. So you've got this spring which connects to just that section there, and then connects to this little plastic bit, which is actually loose. So yeah, when I opened up this machine to have a look inside it, this wasn't there. It had actually found its way into the power supply unit. It's gone in through the fan, and was just sitting on the motherboard of the power supply. So thankfully I didn't turn that on before I'd taken it apart. But yeah, you never quite know what you're going to find in these old machines. But yeah, I'll fix that up at some point. Right, so fitting the slice, you just have to make sure that you get everything lined up. Okay. Right, it just drops on, so you just have to, as you're dropping it down, there's two little indents there, which the two cards slide up through, so you just have to make sure that you've got good clearance for those. Okay. I forgot to put the floppy cable on. Alright, so this is the floppy cable. It's actually quite dirty, so I'm just going to give that a quick wipe. So just standard multi-purpose wipe, just to get the dust and grime off. Yeah, these cables, they always come out so dirty out of these machines. You know, there's quite a bit of dust in them, but yeah, these cables are always grim. There we go, just a quick clean look at that. It's just horrible. But we do have to unfortunately take the slice back off again, because I forgot to pull that cable on the motherboard. So we just slide it off. So the flop cable's just at this side here. It's quite a long cable this is, and I'm not sure that's quite necessary, but we'll go with it for now. It's the one that was in the machine. There you go. And you can see, I mean, even though I'm being actually quite careful, to try and get these things on. Yeah, that's just snapped off, so that's one of the little bits of plastic just down here. There's just one of those. That's come off. So digging the cables out, we've got the power cable for the floppy drive. And the floppy cable. We've got the Molex connector for the CD-ROM drive. There we go, so that's in. Right, okay, so we've just got to deal with where to connect that. So I think I'm just going to zip tie it to this supporting beam. So I'll be back in a moment, need to find a zip tie. Okay, so couldn't find a zip tie, but I've got this Velcro fastener, so that should do it. No, it's actually better, so I can take it off a bit later when I do a more permanent solution. So yeah, I'm just going to put the battery in the holder, and yes, that should activate the CMOS now. And this supporting arm that I'm strapping it to here is plastic, so it's not going to have any kind of issues with conductivity or anything like that. So don't want that staying there obviously for that long. I'll fix that up, but just to get the machine working again so as I can actually start using it, that will do for now. So yeah, and then like I said, it was designed in slices. So we've got the first motherboard slice, we've got the second drive slice, and then you can obviously put modules in through the back plane. So this is the back plane. That was me testing CMOS replacement with battery, you know, for my initial diagnostic process. But we don't need that now because the machine's working fine. So yeah, this is a 2 slice back plane. You can get a 3 and a 4 slice, and you know, they're quite rare, but you can probably get more. But this goes into the back plane, so it slides down 2 little grooves at the sides on this slice. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and this is the modules that came with the machine. Is this one, which is this is a Vision HCCS digitizer. So this has video coming in, and would I guess record it into digital format. But yeah, the aerial connector isn't looking too good on there, so that definitely needs replacing to get this working again. And we also had a scan light, so I believe this is for connecting like a handheld scanner kind of thing, which in the bundle I got, I did actually get a handheld scanner, so at some point it'd be nice to try and get this working as well. But these modules are installed through the back, so you take the blanking plate off, then you push the module through and into the module back plate. The one slice can accept 2. If you need to put more modules in, you can put another slice on top. would then look something like this. So you could have multiple drive configurations, multiple floppy drives, and obviously you've then expanded it with 2 more modules at the back. You obviously have to get the 4 slot backplane, otherwise obviously it doesn't reach, but it's down there now. But you can just keep adding slices, the more that you need, just keep going. But yeah, that'll be quite a beast. It would look quite strange with more than maybe 2 of these on. But yeah. For the moment then, we'll keep it at just the 1 slice, just a nice working machine. So the slice gets locked into place with the legs. So you've got 2 legs at the back with handles on, and then just 2 at the front. So these drop in, and then twist. Okay. And then the top goes on. Okay. And just to close the machine up, you turn them in. There we go. That is now a nice working strong on 200 MHz CPU. I think the memory slots, the memory sims I've just put in there, well, videos, they're 18 megabytes and I think a 1 meg video RAM. So it's quite a capable machine, but yeah, I'm going to find some more memory and put that in as well, and see how far we can upgrade it. And yeah, once I've found the software for the PC card, and probably for the scan card as well, try a bit of scanning, a bit of PC usage. So I think yeah, for the moment that'll do. So yeah, thanks for watching. That's great. Cheers. Bye.